you can draw this in Procreate. You can draw this amazing isometric house in Procreate. I will guide you through every single step of the process, and you don't need any experience with drawing with Procreate, and you don't need any brushes. They are all already in the Procreate app. During this tutorial, you will learn how you can use an isometric grid. We'll start with very basic shapes, and then slowly we will start adding more and more details to our little blue house. You'll learn how to use layer mask, alpha lock, and make use of clipping mask. And once you have reached the end of the tutorial, you will have a result that you'll be proud of and that you'll just want to share. If you're sharing it on Instagram, then don't forget to tag me in the image, not just in the description, because I want to be able to find your work, of course, and then maybe we will see it in the next video. Like these amazing results from my friends at Patreon. That's where you can go if you want to watch even more Procreate tutorials. You can learn how to paint these amazing shells, for instance. For this tutorial, we will be working on a canvas that is 2500 pixels by 2500 pixels, color profile set to sRGB, and don't forget to grab the color palette for this tutorial, which I have linked in the description. And then if you're ready, let's get started. The first thing we'll do is change our background color. Let's go to the two little squares to our layer menu and tap background color. And then we'll pick this first color in the first row. And now let's set up our isometric grid. We need to go to the wrench, then to canvas, then turn on drawing guide, and then tap edit drawing guide. And then here at the bottom, we will set it to isometric. We will leave the grid size at 90 pixels. And if you like, you can turn up the opacity of the lines. I'll set it to 60 or whatever, 60. You can turn up the thickness if you like. And you can change the color here at the top by using the slider, which is sometimes not really responding. So let's set it to a color that is nice and visible for you. Let's just keep it nice and dark. And then once you have set it up, you can turn on assisted drawing here at the bottom and then tap done. Now we'll start by creating our ground plane. And for our brush, we are going to use the monoline brush, which you can find under calligraphy. There we have the monoline brush. And for the color, we are going to use this color over here. That's the third color in the third row. And the opacity of the brush should be at 100%, and I'll set the size to 5%. Then we'll try and find the center point of our canvas. I feel like that's over here. And then we'll go up 2 spots. And then we'll make a line all the way to here until there's just one line to the edge of the canvas. And we'll do the same on this side. And then we'll go to the center. That's over here. And then we'll connect these two like this. And then you can drag in the color to fill this plane. Now let's build our house on top of this plane. First, let's create a new layer on top of this one. Let's tap the plus. And to make sure that our lines will follow the grid again, we need to turn on drawing assist for this layer. We need to tap it and then turn on drawing assist. Now you see assisted right underneath the layer name, and that means that drawing assist is turned on and that all our lines will follow our isometric grid. Now for the color for our house, we will grab this second color in the first row. And then we will find, well, let's zoom in just a little bit. We will find that vertical line one step next to this corner. And then we'll go up 1, 2, 3 steps. And then we'll make a line in this direction. We'll leave 2 steps, 2 lines over here. We'll leave those empty. So let's go up to here and then in this direction until we are here. And we'll do the same thing in the other direction and leave 2 parts empty there as well. So we'll go to here. Then we'll go up 5 steps. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that for each corner. So here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let's connect these lines. Then over here, we need to find the center. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. So we need to go to 3.5. We have that here. That's 3.5. And then we'll make a line going up. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, 4 blocks higher. Then we'll make a line from this point to this corner. Just draw a line, then hold your pen in place, and then you can move it downward like this. We'll do the same on the other side. Make a line, hold your pen in place, and then connect these two areas. And then simply drag in the color to fill your house shape. Now, if your house isn't super tidy, then at this point you can go along the edges, make it a bit more tidy, or you can switch to your eraser by tapping and holding the eraser. It'll switch to the monoline brush, and you can make it a bit smaller as well, like 7%. And then you can go along corners, for instance, over here, very gently. You don't want to erase too much. You can make those corners a bit more tidy. Then let's place our roof. To work on our roof, first I want to create some guidelines that we can use. And to do that, first let's make a new layer. So we'll go to the layer menu, tap the plus, tap the layer and turn on drawing assist. And then for the color, it doesn't really matter what color you use. For instance, we can use this one over here, 9th color in the first row. We are just going to create some guidelines, and we'll start over here and make a line in this direction until you are here. So that's this distance between that corner. Then we'll imagine extending this center line. We'll start here, and then we'll make a line to here. So if you check, if you make a line going down, then you see that there are 1, 2, 3 blocks here. And then it's going up to this point. And then over here, I'd like to make a marker that is the same distance from the corner as over here. So that would be about here. And these will be our guidelines to create our roof. So let's get started on that. Let's make a new layer on top of this one. Let's tap the plus. And this time I won't turn on drawing assist. And then for the color, we will use this last color in the first row. Now let's zoom in a little bit, and we are going to make a bit of a wavy line to the top here. This will be the top part of our roof. So we'll start about here and make a wavy line going up to the top. And then we'll make a line going down to this corner. And then we'll wave up again to about here, and then we'll make a rounded shape here and make another wavy line to that top here. Then we'll make the top part a little bit thicker here. We'll make an extra line going down like this. So this is roughly the shape of that front of our roof. Now let's drag in a color to fill the shape. And of course you can tweak some areas if you want to make it more rounded. Make this a little bit higher. And I will add a lighter color here. Let's do that on a new layer. So let's first tap the plus, and then let's set this layer to clipping mask. So it'll only show up on this part that we have already created. And then for the color, we will use this one over here, the 8th color in the first row. And let's create that thick edge here. Round it over here. Then we can loop around to close the shape. And then you can drag in the color. So now it has a bit of a 3D effect. Once you're happy with your edge, you can actually go to the layer menu and pinch these two together. Next, we'll duplicate this layer. You can do that by sliding to the left and tapping duplicate. Then we'll go to the bottom one. Now let's zoom out. And then we'll go to the move and transform tool. That's the little arrow up here. And then over here at the bottom under snapping, turn on magnetics. And then you can move outside of the shape and drag it along the line to about here. And now you can tap the arrow again to get out of this menu. All right, let's go to the layer menu and make a new layer by tapping the plus. And with the same color, we are going to make the top part of our roof. We'll follow this line, and it's okay if it's a little bit wobbly. Then we'll make a rounded shape here, and then we'll wobble our way back. We'll close the shape and drag in the color. And of course you can go in there and tweak it a bit. But something like this looks perfect. Then we'll make another layer underneath this one. So first we'll tap this layer, then we'll tap the plus, and then we'll make another shape over here following this line. And again, it's okay if it's a little bit wobbly. Then we'll go up here. And then we'll go back. Close the shape and drag in the color. Next, we'll make a layer on top of this one. So go to the layer menu, tap the plus, and for the color, we will use this one over here. That's the 5th color in the 2nd row. And first, let's go along this edge. And we are going to make some sort of roof tile shapes. I'll make 5 of them. And then go over here. And then here at the bottom, I would also like to make some of these bumps. A little bit irregular shape. Something like this. Then we'll loop around to close the shape, and then we can drag in the color. Here I see a little gap, so we need to close that. And then let's also add a little bit on the other side. You'll see a little bit of that roof right here. We'll have a little bit of a wobbly shape. Follow that isometric grid. Something like this, loop around, close the shape, and drag in the color. Now that we have the base of our roof, we can actually delete this layer with our guidelines. So slide to the left and tap delete. Next, I would like to make our floor tile. I'd like to make that rounded. So let's go to layer 1 and let's turn off drawing assist because we want to make rounded shapes, and we can't do that when all our lines follow the isometric grid. And now you can either use the eraser or you can use a layer mask. We can tap this layer and add a mask to it by tapping mask. And now we can paint or draw on this layer with black, and it'll give the same effect as erasing, but the difference is that you can undo it easily. So now we are going to draw on it with black by double tapping here. But when you remove too much, you can just switch back to white and draw over the area that you want to get back, that you want to unerase. So now let's go to this little corner. I'm going to rotate it, and we are going to make an oval shape like this. You can hold your pen in place to get the quick shape. And then you can actually loop around here to close that shape on your mask and then drag in the color. So that's one corner. On to the next one. Again, let's make an oval shape. And you can also use edit here at the top to edit this oval a bit. And make sure that you don't get a little wobble, that you don't go too far. It needs to be on the outside. So something like this, then tap your brush. Make sure you create a closed shape and then drag in the color. And then finally for this one, let's make a rounded shape like this. I think something like this should be fine. Let's close the shape, drag in the color. Let's check it out. I think this is perfect. Now we are going to duplicate this layer to add some depth. And now actually you can merge this layer mask with your layer. It'll make it permanent. That will be the same as erasing. So once you're happy with how your rounded corners look, you can just pinch these together to make it permanent. Then we'll drag to the left, tap duplicate. Then we'll go to the bottom layer. And for our color, we will grab this one over here, 4th color in the 3rd row. Let's drag it on there. You can't see anything right now, but when you go to your layer menu, you will see that this one is darker. Now let's go to the move and transform tool, the little arrow, and drag this one downward to about here. Then tap the arrow again. And then what you can do is go to these corners, and with your brush, you can attach these two. There's just a tiny little gap. So attach these two, and then you have a nice 3D effect. And actually, if you're happy with these, you can pinch these together as well. In the next stage of this drawing, we are going to add elements to our house. So let's make a layer on top of our base house layer. Let's tap the plus, and let's turn on Drawing Assist by tapping the layer and tapping Drawing Assist. And then for the color, we are going to use this one over here. That's the 5th color in the first row. And we are going to create a little edge around the underside of the house. All right, so we'll start right here at the bottom, the center area, and we'll extend this line a little bit like this. And then we'll do the same on this side. So extend it a little bit. Then let's zoom in. And we'll make a line along the house and extend it a little bit above this crossing here, this intersection. And then we'll make a line from, well, a little bit above this line. We'll go like this to the center area. And then let's make another line a little bit below that line like this, all the way to here, and then connect these two. And then connect this to that corner. Let's zoom in a little bit, make sure that we go right to that house. And you can use the eraser if you need to erase a little part here, so that it's nicely attached to the house. Then we'll do the same on this side. So first we'll make a line along the house, extend it a little bit. Then we'll make a line. Well, we can start at this corner, make a line like this, and then another one like this, connect these two. I went a little bit too far, but that's okay. You can actually extend it a little bit. And you can always use the eraser to tidy it up. Now we have this, we can drag in the color. And we can use continue filling here at the top to tap in these areas to fill those as well. And I'd like to make the top part a little bit lighter. Let's make a new layer on top of this one. To do that, let's tap the plus and set this to clipping mask, and also turn on Drawing Assist. Then for the color, we will use this one over here. That's the 7th color in the first row. And now let's start here in this corner. Make a line to the center, go up, back in this direction. Make sure you make a closed shape, and then you can drag in the color. Then we'll go in the other direction from the center to the corner, make a closed shape, and then drag in the color. And once you're happy with this, you can actually merge these two layers together. The next thing we'll do is add a door and windows. Let's start with the door. Let's grab this color for that, the 5th color in the 2nd row. And we also need to make a new layer. Let's do that on top of this edge layer. We'll tap the plus, and we will turn on Drawing Assist. Let's zoom in, and let's start over here. Make a line going up to about here. Then we'll go in this direction to about here, and then downward. And then we can connect these two like this. And then simply drag in the color to fill the shape. Then let's give it some depth by making a line over here along that edge. Then we'll go up. We'll connect these two, and then we'll go in this direction and connect this corner as well. And drag in the color. And then for a window, let's add a window over here. We'll use the same color Let's make a window right next to this edge. Make a line upward to that line. Then we'll go left to about here, then downward, and then connect these two. And like I said before, you can grab the eraser if you need to get rid of some bumps here. Then drag in the color. And then let's give this some depth as well. So grab the brush, make a line in this direction, then go up, connect these two, then go in this direction and connect these two as well. Now you get some nice depth. Let's drag in the color. And then for another window, I want a window over here. Let's first make a line over here, then go up, then in this direction. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's go for this. Let's grab the eraser to get rid of this little part, then drag in the color, and then let's add the depth. So grab the brush, create a line like this, and go in this direction, connect these two, then downward, and connect it here. And then drag in the color. And tidy it up if you need to. Got a few little bumps. So I'll make it a bit more tidy. Next, we'll grab another color. We'll grab this color over here, 9th color in the first row. And we are going to use that to add that depth. Now let's do that on a new layer. So let's tap the plus for a new layer. Then let's set that to clipping mask. And let's also turn on drawing assist. Now let's first create a dark edge over here. So we'll follow that diagonal line and go from the corner to the top, close the shape and drag in the color. And we'll do the same thing over here. First make a line going up, then from this corner, make sure you close the shape and drag in the color. Then on to the next window. For this one, I want the front side to be darker. So let's go from this corner to here and connect these two. So this will be a little bit darker. Close it and drag in the color. And I also want to add a slightly darker color at the top. Let's do that on a new layer. So first tap this one, then tap the plus. And for this one, I will turn down the opacity. We'll tap the N and slide this to 50%. And then we can go over the top part like this. But first we need to turn on drawing assist as well on this layer. Let's not forget. And then we can simply make a line like this. Make sure you create a closed shape and drag in the color. And do the same over here. Make sure you create a closed shape and then drag in the color. And once you have this and you're happy with it, you can actually merge these layers, these 3 layers. Now let's tap the plus for a new layer on top of these. And now we are going to create the glass and the door here inside this shape. So let's turn on drawing assist. And for our first color, let's grab this one over here. The second color in the 3rd row, we'll use it for this window over here. And let's just create a shape that is slightly smaller than what we already have. So something like this. Then drag in the color. And then we'll grab the eraser. And then we'll make a vertical line like this. And one like this. You can also tidy some parts up a little bit. Perhaps you need to cut off a part until you get a window like this. Then we'll move on to this window. For this one, we'll grab this color, first color in the 3rd row. And again, we'll make a shape that is slightly smaller. Like this, drag in the color. Then again, grab the eraser. and make a shape like this. Then for our door. For our door, we will grab this color over here, third color in the second row. And here as well, we'll make a slightly smaller shape. Something like this. Now to make sure that it doesn't stick out here at the bottom, we can actually set it to clipping mask. So it'll be clipped to that bottom shape. So tap the layer, turn on clipping mask. Let me also grab the eraser to tidy this area up a little bit. And then I want to make extra shapes on top of this. Let's tap the plus for a new layer. Let's set that to drawing assist. And then for the color, let's grab this one over here. Fifth color in the second row. And let's make a rectangular shape here. Drag in the color and another one a little bit smaller underneath. Drag in the color. And then let me grab the eraser to tidy it up. Now we can go to the layer menu and we can pinch these two together. So layer 10 and layer 11. And now let's go back to this layer once more to add a little bit more shadow. Let's grab this local color. By tapping your finger on the screen, you can grab the color. And then before we do anything, let's set this layer to alpha lock. You can tap the layer, set it to alpha lock. You'll see this checkerboard pattern. And now we can only paint or draw on the shapes that are already there. Let's create a line over here, maybe a little bit thicker, to create a little shadow effect there. And let's do the same on this window. So we'll go along this bottom area and up here. A little bit in this corner. Now you do see that we are going a little bit too far over here. So let's grab this color and go over again to tidy that up. And finally, let's also add a doorknob. Let's do that on a layer on top of this one. Let's tap the plus. Then for the color, let's grab this first one in the second row. And then let's just draw a circle. Draw a circle, hold your pen in place, and tap one finger on the screen for a perfectly round circle. So you get something like this, and then drag in the color. For our next step, we are going to create a large window on this side. So let's create a new layer again. Let's tap the plus. And for the color, let's grab this one over here, the 9th color in the first row. And that window will be below this window, but it'll be slightly thinner. And the top part will be along this line. We do need to make sure that we turn on drawing assist actually. So tap the layer, turn on drawing assist. And then let's make a line along here, a bit like this. Then let's go down and we will extend to about here. Let's do the same over here. Then attach these two. Drag in the color and use the eraser to get rid of any parts that you need to get rid of. Then we are going to make a new layer on top of this one. We'll tap the plus, and for the color we are going to grab this one over here, 4th color in the first row. And then we are going to make, well, first we are going to turn on drawing assist. I keep forgetting, turn on drawing assist on the layer. And then we are going to make a line over here that extends and is a little bit broader than our window here. Then we'll move down along this line and extend a bit beyond the point of the window. And on this side, we'll go to the bottom of the window. And then we need to go to the front a little bit. You know what? Let me turn off the grass layer so it's easier to see. So let's check it out. Let's make this one a little bit longer even. And then imagine this line extending here and then touching this part. And let's make a line going down here. And we want to connect these two. And then let's move up here. And make another line in this direction. I want it to be equal size. So let's move a little bit more to the left and upward. And then connect these two. Then let's connect this to the edge here. Then we'll move upward. Then over here we'll go to the wall and then back up. And then over here we need to attach these. Then we'll go in this direction and connect this. Now we have a nice little shape here. Let's drag in the color. I do feel like that maybe the right side is a little bit too broad, but we can easily fix that by going to the eraser and erasing to the part where it meets that edge. So we can simply cut off a part and then go up here. I think this is better. Then let's zoom out. Let's turn on the grass layer again. Next we are going to create an arch, something of an arch, a little roof on top of this. Let's tap the plus to make a layer which we will use as a drawing guide. For the color, let's just grab this, for instance, the 9th color in the 3rd row. And then let's first draw an arch like this. Hold your pen in place. And then we'll go to the move and transform tool, little arrow. And let's move it upward and then set it to distort here. And make this shape follow the isometric grid. So this line should follow that grid. Now let's move it up here. Let's set it to freeform and let's actually push it inward a little bit. And let's go for something like this. Let's tap the arrow. Now this line should be touching this line actually. So now it's nicely following that grid. Now let's duplicate this. Let's slide to the left, tap duplicate, then go to the move and transform tool again and move this forward. Let's also make it a little bit smaller. Let's set it to uniform, make it a bit smaller. And let's place it about here. And now let's go to the layer menu. Let's pinch these together and lower their opacity by tapping the N and sliding to the left. And then let's make a new layer on top. Let's tap the plus. And then for the color, we will use, let's grab this one, 9th color in the 1st row. And now we are going to make some sort of sausage shape. Start here, and then we'll follow that curve. And then over here, we'll curve to the front. And then over here, we'll go in front of our window and close that shape. Then drag in the color. And then over here, we have a little part of that blue peeping out. Let's go to that layer over here. Let's turn off drawing assist for now. And then let's grab the eraser and just erase that little part. And then let's also get rid of our guides. Let's remove that layer, slide to the left, tap delete. And now we have a nice little roof part there. Now let's go back to that window. Let's go over here. Let's make a new layer on top by tapping the plus. And for the color, let's grab this yellow, 1st color in the 3rd row. And let's not forget to turn on drawing assist on this layer. And then we'll make a rectangular shape that is a little bit smaller than our window. So something like this. Drag in the color, then grab the eraser. Let's tidy this up a little bit. Then make a vertical line like this and a horizontal one over here. Doing great so far. Next, let's add some more interest to our house. Let's start with that edge around our house. Let's go to that layer over here. Let's first make a new layer on top by tapping the plus, and let's set it to clipping mask. Then for our first color, let's grab this one, 6th color in the first row, and let's add some wobbly shapes to that little edge. Just random shapes all around, some little dabs on the other side as well. And over here. Make sure you close each shape, because then you can simply drag in the color, use continue filling, and tap all these areas to fill them. Then tap the little check mark, and then we'll switch to this color. That's the 7th color in the second row. And then we'll add some lighter details, just some small little dabs over here as well. And a few here, like this. And then once you're happy, you can pinch these two layers together. Now let's do the same thing for our house. Let's tap the plus for a new layer here. Let's set it to clipping mask. And then for the color, let's start with this one, 4th color in the first row. And now we are going to draw in some bricks. And try to follow the isometric grid a little bit. Now they can be a little bit wobbly, of course, a little bit rounded, but overall try to follow that grid. Over here we can make it go around the corner. And drag in a color to fill these bricks. Then over here. You see, I'm making rounded shapes, but still they are mostly following the grid. Drag in the color. And now let's switch to this color, the 3rd color in the first row. It's a very light color. I'm not sure if you will be able to see it on camera, but I'm pretty sure you will see it on your iPad. And just add a few more of these brick shapes. And over here. And drag in the color to fill the shapes. There. I want to do the same thing for this area. So let's go, well, once you're happy, by the way, you can pinch these two together, of course. And actually, if you're happy with both of these, then you can pinch them both together. So the house and that edge are on the same layer. Now let's go to this one. First, I want to change the color to the main house color. So let's grab the 2nd color in the first row and drag it on here. And then let's add some bricks here as well. Let's first make a new layer on top. Then let's set it to clipping mask. Then let's first grab the 4th color and add some of these bricks. And you can make some go around the bend. Then follow the grid. Drag in the color. You can use continue filling, of course. And then let's also add some of these lighter bricks with the third color. Let's use the check mark here because we're not filling anymore. So just a few. And then drag in the color, use continue filling, and fill these as well. And then use the check mark here. Now I think we can actually add some shadow to our house. But first, if you're happy with this, you can just merge this together. Now let's make a layer on top of our main house layer. Let's tap the plus. Let's set this layer to clipping mask so that whatever we draw, it won't go outside of the shape. Then tap the N and set this layer to multiply, which is great for shadows. Then for our color, we are going to use this one over here, the 10th color in the second row. Oh, and let's also make sure that we turn on drawing assist for now for our straight areas, like this one over here. Let's go along this edge. Then let's make sure that we create a closed shape, and it can be really big. So drag in the color, and then let's go here and erase a little part. Let's grab the eraser and erase that top part here, because the light would still be hitting that top part of that edge. Then let's go along the edges of the door and of this window, just a small little edge. And now let's turn off drawing assist. So tap the layer, turn off drawing assist, and then let's create a little shadow here and a shadow underneath the roof. Let's follow the shape of the roof and go all along this area. Close the shape and then drag in the color. And then let's lower the opacity of this shadow layer a little bit. Let's tap the M and scroll to the left, and let's set it to 70%. Then let's do the same for this blue area. So let's go to this layer, tap the plus, set it to clipping mask, and tap the N and set it to multiply. And let's also set this layer to drawing assist. Then we'll go in here, make a line going up here, then to the side, back down, make sure your shape is closed, and drag in the color. Then for the other one, just that front part, close the shape, and drag in the color. And I actually like the difference in darkness here, that this shadow is a little bit darker, so let's keep it at 100%, and let's work on this little roof part here. Let's go to that layer. By the way, if you're happy with your shadows, you could merge these layers just to save some layer space. Now let's go to this layer, let's tap the plus and set this layer to clipping mask. And then for the color, we are going to use this 10th color in the first row. And for our brush, we are going to switch to the script brush. With the script brush, the harder you press with your pressure-sensitive pen like the Apple Pencil, the thicker your line will become. I have the opacity of this brush at 100% and the size at, let's set it to 5%. And then let's add some tiles here. Let's start here, make a shape like this, and press harder around that curve, and then lightly as you move to the wall. So just rounded shapes following the curve of this little roof. Then more shapes over here. So you get something like this. You can add a bit more shadow in between here. Just fill these gaps. And then what we can also do is cut off some parts from that main shape. Let's go to this layer and let's add a layer mask to it so that we have more control over our erasing. The color is already set to black. And now let's just add some gaps here, following those little tiles. And do you see a little issue here where we see the top of our window? So let me not go too far there. Over here as well. Maybe we can add a little bit to the window. And a little bit over here. Now let's go to this layer over here. That's the one covering the window here. Let's grab the eraser and erase this part. Now it's not sticking out that much. And actually, I'm also thinking about that shadow layer. Let's go here, grab that blue again, 10th color in the second layer, second row. Let's add a little bit of that shadow on there, but let's turn off drawing assist first. So we can make a slight curve here and over here as well. A little bit of shadow from that roof. What I'd like to do now is go to this layer of our window. Let's turn off drawing assist and turn on alpha lock because I want to add a little bit of a gradient here. Let's go to the airbrushing brushes and use the soft brush. And for the color, let's grab this one over here. 5th color in the second row. Now the opacity of the brush is at 60%. Let's set the size to 12%. And let's go over this top area for a little bit of warmth there. Then let's do something similar for this window. Let's go to this layer over here. Let's turn off drawing assist and let's turn on alpha lock. And then for the color, we'll grab this yellow 1st color in the 3rd row and we'll go over this lower area. You're doing great so far. Let's move on to the top of our roof. For the top of our roof, let's go to this layer and then make a new layer on top here by tapping the plus. And then we'll set this layer to clipping mask. And then for our brush, we will go back to the script brush again. And for our color, let's use this one over here, 6th color in the 2nd row. And now we are going to create some roof tiles. And you know what? Perhaps we can make some guidelines for ourselves. Let's make a new layer on top of this one, set it to drawing assist. And for now, let's grab a different color like this one, for example, 3rd color in the 3rd row. And let's start here and make a little line from each little bump. Just like this. And then we can move back to this layer. Let's first lower the opacity of this one a bit, 65%, and we'll go to this one, grab that color, that 6th color in the 2nd row, and now we can follow this little grid and create our tiles. I actually feel like we could go for a bit smaller tiles here. So let me just create tiles like this. And every time follow the grid. We'll go all the way to this area. But you can see that now it's not following this exactly anymore. So let's go to this layer. Let me grab the eraser. And let's create a little indent here. And let's grab the brush, grab this local color. And let's adjust it a little bit. We'll use the eraser to erase this part. And then back to the brush. So it's a little bit different now. And you could actually go back to that guideline layer and make a new guideline, but I feel like this is helpful enough. So let's grab the sixth color again. Then we need to go back to this layer and we can continue creating these. And just like with the other tiles we created, try making them thick on the underside and thin as you move up. And I'm varying the sizes of these tiles, then all the way to this side, then over here, here a bigger tile, and one over here. So we have some nice variation in size. And then all the way to the right. Then finally we have these bottom ones. And over here, I'd like to make some areas a little bit thicker. Make another line along the edge to fill those like triangular sections and make the shadow here a little bit deeper. Here as well. So we'll just make an extra line and fill those little gaps. Over here. And finally here as well. Fill those gaps. Now I want to remove the guidelines first. Let's slide to the left on that layer, tap delete. Now I want to make the top parts a little bit lighter. So we'll set this layer to alpha lock. Then we'll grab the soft brush under airbrushing. Then let's grab a lighter color like this one, 8 color in the first row. And let's gently go over the top part to make those a little bit lighter. Then we'll go back to the layer, turn off alpha lock. Then I want to go back to this color, 6th color in the second row, grab the script brush again under calligraphy, and then make a darker shadow right underneath this top part. There. Now let's add some color variety on this layer. Let's just go to this layer and then tap the plus for a new layer. And then for our brush, we can stick with the script brush. Now we are going to add some color variety here. Let's start with the second color here in the second row. And we are going to make some tiles a different color. Loop around, close the shape, drag in the color. Let's do for this one as well. Then let's switch to this color, 3rd color in the second row. Choose that here. Drag in the color. Perhaps for this one as well. Drag in the color. Then let's switch to this one, 1st color in the second row. It's a bit more yellowish. Let's add that to these. Drag in the color. And then let's grab this color, 4th color in the second row. It's slightly different than the color we already have on the roof. So I'm not sure if you can see it properly on camera actually. But let's give this color to a few of these tiles. And perhaps for the bottom ones. Maybe these three. And let's add one more light tile. This one, this color, third color in the second row. Let's add that here. And perhaps this one as well. And then let's also add a little bit of color variety on this side of the roof by just creating some of these shapes. And perhaps this color, that fourth color in the second row. Even if you can't really see it on camera, it's there. So now we have a nice variation of color on our roof. Now let's move to the top part. By the way, if you're happy with how it looks right now, then you can merge these layers together for your roof. Then we'll go to this layer. Let's make a new layer on top by tapping the plus, setting it to clipping mask. And then for the color, we will use this one over here. You can just tap and hold on your screen to grab it, and then make a line following the grid, loop around, close the shape, and drag in the color. Now our roof looks great. It's just missing a chimney. Let's add that. Let's put our chimney on a layer underneath these two. Let's just merge these and then tap this layer and then tap the plus for a new layer for our chimney. Let's turn on drawing assist. All right, and then for our color for our chimney, we are going to use this one over here. That's the 7th color in the first row. And for our brush, let's go back to the monoline brush. Now let's zoom in on our chimney area and let's start about here. Make a line going down. Then make a line in this direction. Then go down here. Then we'll go in this direction. Again, go down. And we'll make this top part. Now you do need to make sure that the shape is closed. If you tap and hold here, then you will only see this shape, this layer. Let's turn off drawing assist so we can close our shape by connecting these parts like this and then drag in the color. Now let's tap and hold this check mark again to turn everything on, and then let's turn drawing assist back on. And then for our color, let's grab this one over here, 10th color in the first row. And let's add that to the top of our chimney, but do make sure that you turn on alpha lock first actually, so you won't be going outside of the shape. So let's do that. And we're going to fill this with color. You can also drag in a color, but then you would need to turn down the color drop threshold. You might need to take multiple tries. There. Now it's filling, but usually when using this method, you keep seeing that little edge. So you might need to go back to your brush, zoom in and get rid of any little gaps that you see. That's why I usually do this on a separate layer. And now for the top part of our chimney, let's make a new layer on top of this one. And let's turn on drawing assist. And then for the color, let's grab this 8th color in the second row. Let's start about here. Make a line moving outward, sticking out. And on this side as well. Then we'll go up. Make the side of the top part. And then move up. And close that shape. Well, let's zoom in a little bit, make sure that we make this nice and tidy. Let's drag in the color. And you can always go back to the eraser to cut some parts off, make it tidy. Now let's create the sides of this chimney. Let's just work on the same layer. Let's grab this color actually again that we already used. And let's also set the layer to alpha lock so we won't be going outside of our shape. Let's make a line in this direction and from this corner to the center. And then let's just color it in. You can also make your brush nice and big, or you can drag in the color, but then you get those little edges again. So this is actually also a way. Now let's create a hole at the top. We can either use the eraser here, or we can use a layer mask again by tapping the layer, tapping mask, and then with black, we are going to create a hole here. So let's just go over here and create that hole. Drag in the color. I want to make the hole a little bit smaller actually. So a way to do that is by just grabbing white, by double tapping here. And then we can paint parts back in to create a smaller hole. Maybe we can just go along that edge here. Next, I want to add some lines on here. First, once you're happy, you can actually merge the layer mask with this part, or you can keep it there in case you want to be able to make adjustments later. Let's go to this layer, and then for the color, let's grab this one over here. That's the 7th color in the 2nd row. And then let's make some lines as if these are bricks. So just a few going down here, over here, and perhaps one here. We'll do the same on that other layer over here. So let's go there and let's make a line like this, and then in the other direction. We're just going to give a very simplistic suggestion of bricks here. Perhaps a line here. And I'd also like a little shadow edge underneath there. Let's grab this color and then add a line like this and over here to separate these two areas a bit. Then I'd like to go over this area, and I would also like some variety over here. Let's grab this color over here, the 9th color in the 3rd row. And let's make a shape like this. Now let's color that in. So we get some nice variety there. Next, let's add some shadow. Let's start with this layer. Let's tap the plus and set the layer to clipping mask. And let's also turn on drawing assist. And for the layer blending mode, we'll tap the N and scroll up to multiply again. And for the color, we'll grab this 10th color in the 2nd row. Now let's first go over here, make a shape that you can close, drag in the color, and then over here as well on that inside. Drag in the color. And then for the other part of the chimney, we'll go here, tap the plus for a new layer again, set it to clipping mask and to drawing assist as well, and then tap the N and scroll up to multiply. I want to make this one a bit lighter, so let's set the opacity to 70%. And then let's go along this edge and drag in the color. Now, if you're happy with your chimney, you can actually merge all the chimney layers at this point. And now we can move on to our grass plane layer. So let's go all the way to the bottom over here. Then let's tap the plus for a new layer. And on this layer, we are going to make some like rock, some pavement. And the color we'll use is this one over here, 6th color in the 3rd row. And we need to make sure that we follow the grid. Now for the brush, you can either use the monoline brush or the script brush. I like using the script brush so you can vary your size a bit. We're going to follow the grid, just like we did with the bricks on the house. And we're going to create some random shapes. Make some smaller, some a little bit bigger. Create a playful look, but roughly follow the grid. So something like this. Then you can drag in the color. You might need to turn up the threshold again. Then use continue filling and tap in these areas to fill them. Then tap the check mark, and let's do the same over here. Let's add some of that pavement here. Like I said, some can be bigger and some smaller. And a small one here. And then drag in the color again and use continue filling, tap, 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 and then the check mark. Now we'll add a little shadow to these bricks. Let's go to the layer menu, set this layer to alpha lock, and then for our color, we'll grab this one over here. That's the 5th color in the 3rd row. And then on this side, we'll go over the left and lower right side of these bricks or stones or whatever they are called. So stay consistent. Put that edge on the same side for each of these. And then for the other side, it'll be a bit different. Here we'll go along this edge and this one. Or actually it's exactly the same, but it feels a bit different, I guess. So along the edge, like this. Next, let's add some trees. I want the trees to be on top of the other layers because one little tree will be covering the house a bit. So let's go to the top, then tap the plus for a new layer. And for the color, we will grab this one over here, 7th color in the 3rd row. And now let's first go here and make a rounded shape with some wobbles at the bottom. Drag in the color, make sure you don't have any gaps. And then let's make one over here, a smaller one. Again, a little bit wobbly at the bottom. Drag in the color. Maybe we can move this one up a little bit. Let's go to the selection tool, the S shape ribbon. Then set it to freehand and make sure that color fill is turned off. Then loop around, close the selection. Then go to the move and transform tool, the little arrow. And I'm not sure what's happening there actually, but it seems like a little glitch. Let's place it about here. Then tap the arrow again to get out of there. And now it's back. I don't know what happened. Let's move on as if nothing happened. Let's grab this color, 8th color in the 3rd row. And then let's add another little tree over here. Right next to the house, little wobbly on the underside. And then drag in the color. Then our trees also need some tree trunks. Let's create those on a layer underneath. So let's tap this layer first and tap the plus for a new layer. And then for the color, we'll grab this one, 9th color in the 3rd row. And let's just create a small little tree trunk. Close the shape, drag in the color. Then for this one, also a little tree trunk, drag in the color. And finally this one. It's a bit broader, different type of tree. Next, we'll add a little bit of shadow to these trees. Let's go to this layer, tap the plus for a new one. set this layer to clipping mask, and then tap the N to set this layer to multiply. Now you can simply use the local color, so you can grab the screen and then use that to create a darker shade here. Loop around, close the shape, drag in the color. And over here as well. It's the wobbly shape, close it, and drag in the color. And then finally for this one, grab that local color, and then another wobbly shape, loop around, and drag in the color. And then if you're happy with your trees, just pinch these together to have them all on one layer. Now let's go back to the layer with the rocks, with the pavement. We can turn off alpha lock here. And now for our color, let's grab this one over here. First color in the third row. And we are just going to add some random specks, random dots, as if these are flowers or colored patches in the grass. They'll just add some interest. So in random places, make these dabs over here as well. Various sizes until it looks like this. We are almost there. Let's pinch these layers together, the grass and that pavement and the flowers. Let's pinch these. And now let's make a multiply layer on top of this one. Let's tap the plus. Let's set it to clipping mask and then tap the N to set this to multiply. And let's also lower the opacity to 50%. And then for the color, we are going to use this one, the 10th color in the third row. And let's also, I think we can do this now. Let's turn off that grid. We can go to the wrench, then to canvas and turn off the drawing guide. So we can really admire our little house. Now for our shadow, start here at the corner of the house. Make a line like this and go downward here, loop around to close the shape and then drag in the color. And then let's also add a little shadow underneath this tree, just a little oval shape, and underneath this one as well. Drag in the color. And I can't believe we did this. We created an isometric house together. You should be proud of yourself. For more isometric fun, you can follow this tutorial, for example, in which we create an isometric coffee room. Then you will learn even more isometric tricks and techniques. Don't forget to share your work. I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.